Hi, I'm Graham and welcome back to Man vs Film. This is going to be a top 10 of movies that you can watch for October 2017 on Amazon Prime UK. So let's get started. Number 10, Critters. A team of furry creatures from another world eat their way through a small Midwestern town followed by an intergalactic bounty hunter, opposed only by militant townspeople. Critters is one of those movies that kind of got lost in amongst the 80s. It spawned 3 sequels and they're all very good. Now it is low budget and it kind of takes a sort of mix of horror and sci-fi. It's got these furry little creatures that look like puppets, but deadly puppets. It's got a strong science fiction element to it at the start by making these an alien race that have escaped from an intergalactic maximum security prison followed by 2 shape-shifting bounty hunters. It's got a lot of humour in it that still hits today. It's got some really good action. It's got some nice scares in it as well. And it's got a really tight, condensed story. One that I can highly suggest in October, the month of scares. Number 9, Eurotrip. Dumped by his girlfriend, a high school grad decides to embark on an overseas adventure in Europe with his friends. I've seen Eurotrip way more than I possibly should have, but I think it is absolutely hilarious. It's one of these movies that I can put on and no matter what I'm doing, I'll sit down and just watch it. I love it. I think it's funny. It's very much like a sketch as it moves from country to country, just giving you a flavour of those characteristics of that country, the most stereotypical things that possible. It has some fun and it moves on to the next one. So if there's one segment that doesn't catch you, you're guaranteed to move from there within 5 minutes to something else. I think it's pretty funny and I think the song that perpetuates the full movie is absolutely terrific. Number 8 is Silence. In the 17th century, 2 Portuguese Jesuit priests travelled to Japan in an attempt to locate their mentor, who is rumoured to have committed apostasy, and to propagate Catholicism. This is one of these tough watches as a man's faith is just ritually tested all the way through it. He is beat down, he sees horrific things as these Japanese shoguns just tear the man asunder, trying to get him to denounce God and Catholicism, as this is what the sort of poorer people in Japan are starting to go to. It looks spectacular, as you would expect with any Scorsese movies, but expect a languid pace and a movie that can sometimes make you feel as if it's been a little bit overbearing with the amount of bad things that you see during it. Still, it is very much a movie to see. Number 7, Jackie. Following the assassination of JFK, First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy fights through the grief and trauma to regain her faith, console her children and define her husband's historic legacy. Jackie's one of these movies that is just all about the lead performance by Natalie Portman, and she is terrific in the movie, but the movie itself is a really interesting portrait of this character. She is someone that is in the limelight. She's somebody that is very much in the public eye, and her husband, one of the most popular and most well-known figures in history, has just been assassinated. And she has to deal with all these people looking at her, somehow keep her composure, somehow just get through the next few days. And that's what this movie's about, the immediate aftermath and how she copes with it. It is a terrific performance, a really nicely well done directed movie with some nice nods to the original footage as well of things that went on around about the time. It's a marvellous, interesting, captivating watch. Number 6, Seoul Station. Several groups of people try to survive a zombie pandemic that unleashes itself on downtown Seoul. Seoul Station is the prequel to Train to Busan. It is an animated fare and it is something rather different to most zombie movies. It's very interesting. It gives you these characters to latch onto, and the characters are fully developed in this movie as well. People come into the movie, make their mark, and then are just toned down by this zombie horde that just decimates everybody in this movie. I think this is a terrific take on the zombie movies that are out there just now. It adds something to Train to Busan, one of my favourite zombie movies of recent years as well, which is terrific and on Amazon Prime if you want to check that out too. Seoul Station isn't getting as much fanfare as Train to Busan, and it's a shame because it's very different. It attempts various things that you wouldn't expect an animated movie to do, but it goes there, and I think it deserves the kudos for it. If you like Train to Busan, you should love Seoul Station. Number 5, Manchester by the Sea. a depressed uncle is asked to take care of his teenage nephew after the boy's father dies. This is another movie anchored by a terrific lead performance by Casey Affleck, a man who is broken throughout this movie, who is given this responsibility that he can't undertake because he is still grieving about something in his past. And the movie's kind of interspersed with various timescales, with his backstory and with his current dealings with his nephew. It's a very understated performance. Casey Affleck isn't really showy in this one, but you really get a lot along with this character. I like the dynamic between the uncle and the nephew. I thought it worked really well. It's one of these movies that sort of stays with you long after you've seen it. It was an Oscar contender movie. You can see why. There is a scene that Michelle Williams comes in and just emotionally devastates you. This is it's not a joyful watch, but it's a good movie. Number 4 is The Handmaiden. A woman is hired as a handmaiden to a Japanese heiress, but secretly she's involved in a plot to defraud her. Chan-wook Park's The Handmaiden is one of the most captivating movies I've seen this year. It came out in the cinema in 2017 and it's already made it onto Amazon Prime. It is a terrific movie that has this really layered story that sort of tells you part of the story and then it will jump back in time, tell you it from another person's angle and just repurpose everything that you've already seen. It is one of these kind of mysterious movies where I was never quite sure who was conning who, because it is a period set con movie and it just kind of captivated me. There's some terrific performances, there's some cinematography that just brings this movie to life. It is a long movie and it is worth your attention every step of the way. There is some extreme graphic sexual content, just so you know. Number 3 is Line. A 5-year-old Indian boy gets lost in the streets of Calcutta, thousands of kilometres from home. He survives many challenges before being adopted by a couple in Australia. 25 years later, he sets out to find his lost family. Another movie which I thought I knew everything by the trailer, but I didn't. It gives you a flavour of what the movie's about, but actually seeing this young boy at a very young age being lost in this bustling city with millions of people, and how he just narrowly escapes all these situations to make it to a family that want and love him, only to grow up and start to have flashbacks and realise about the life that he's kind of lost. It is a compelling movie with another great performance by Dev Patel as he becomes obsessed with finding his real family. It's a movie that really gets to you emotionally, and by the end of it, it gives you a satisfying, although bittersweet ending. Number 2 is Moonlight. A chronicle of the childhood, adolescence and burgeoning adulthood of a young African-American gay man growing up in a rough neighbourhood of Miami. Moonlight was one of these movies that I thought I'll watch because it's an Oscar contender, but it's not for me. But I honestly believe this movie's for everyone. It's about a person who can't really be the person he wants to be in the society he's living in. He has to pretend to be someone else. He has to come to terms with his own personality while putting up a front for other people, and how he tries to get in contact with just being the person that he wants to be. I thought it was a really affecting movie, really interesting, and the fact that it focuses on these 3 key points in this one person's life played by 3 different actors, I thought was a masterstroke. It just focuses on this one time frame, tells a piece of story that makes up this person and moves on to the next one. I think it's a work of art, I think it's a terrific movie, and it was deserving of the Best Picture Oscar. Number 1 is The Edge of 17. A high school life gets even more unbearable for Nadine when her best friend Krista starts dating her older brother. This isn't the typical teenage movie. It is funny, yes, it has some awkward moments, yes, but it feels as if the characters are fully realised, and somebody, Nadine particularly, is a character who is uncomfortable in her own skin. Something that I'm sure most of us have felt, and you can kind of attribute that to most of her actions. She is a little bit beyond her teenage years. She doesn't really fit in with most of the crowds, and she doesn't really want to either. She has this one friend that is everything to her, and when that dynamic changes, it just throws her world upside down. You've got Woody Harrelson as our favourite teacher, who gives an amazing performance, and this movie is touching, it's funny, it is just a great movie, and that's why it's my number 1 movie to watch this month on Amazon Prime UK. So thanks for watching my video, hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find something that you can enjoy to watch, and if you do, let me know in the comment box what you thought of that movie you picked, and if I've missed anything, let me know as well, and I'll see if I can check it out, and maybe it'll make next month's list. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. on Man vs Film.